One of the common tasks that you'll need to perform within your tenant is to add new users. You can do this either in the admin center, using your browser, or by using PowerShell. If everyone needs to use Office 365 must have their own user account and license. When a user account is created, you'll assign them an Office 365 license and provide them with a mailbox in exchange. Users can then use their login credentials and sign in and access Office 365 resources. Let's drop onto our demo tenant and show you how to create new users in Office 365 using the Admin Center. I've logged onto my Microsoft 365 Admin Center with a user with an administrative role such as the User Administrator. From the left-hand side I'll select Users, and then Active Users. And here we can add a user. We'll provide the basic information for the user, including the name and display name, and configure the username. We can then set the password settings. These can be auto-generated or we can configure a password for the user. We can require that the user changes this password when they first sign in and optionally send the user the password in an email. For example, to an administrator or the user's personal email address. I'll click Next. We then need to configure the user location. I'll select the USA. And then assign the user of product license. I'll choose the Office 365 E5 license. I can optionally select the different apps available for the user. I'll select the default, which includes all of the apps. We can then configure optional settings including user roles. And information relating to the user, including the user profile such as their job title, department, office and more. We'll then review the settings and click Finish adding to create the new user. I'll then click Close. If you have a lot of users to add, you can also use the GUI to import them from a CSV file. On the menu bar, I'll select Add Multiple Users. And here we can see we can create and upload a CSV file directly into Office 365. We can download an example CSV file with headers or with sample information that we can use. Once we've configured the CSV file, we'll browse to the file. I'll select it. Click Open. And then click Verify. The file is verified that it contains all the necessary information. We'll then click Next. We need to configure the user options, such as whether or not the user can sign in, or whether or not they're blocked. We can allocate a product license, including the user location. And then the users are added. Once the users have been added, we can download the results report. I'll email this to my administrator and click Send and Close. In this way we've added multiple users to Office 365 without using PowerShell. Let's now drop onto our demo PC and see how we can add multiple users by using PowerShell. Let's now use PowerShell to create individual user accounts. I've loaded up PowerShell ISE and opened my script. To add a new user, we'll need to use the new MSOL user commandlet. Here we can see we'll specify the display name, the first name, last name, user principal name, the usage location, and an initial password. I'll select the line, and then click Run Selection. And we can see the user is created. Notice we did not apply a license and therefore is licensed is declared as false. We can also use PowerShell to import multiple accounts. You'll first need to create a comma-separated value or CSV formatted file. I've already created a new users file with 6 users that I'll import for Chris, then David, Cynthia, Melissa, and Marta. You can see the imported titles in the first line of the file. I'll close the file and return to PowerShell. And here we can see. We'll use the import-csv commandlet. I'll specify the path to the file. And then perform a for each loop. So for each line I'll create a new user. And use the information within the CSV file. At the end of the process, I'll create a file called new accounts, which CSV will confirm that the accounts have been created. I'll click the line and then run the selection. The commandlet proceeds without error. And I can see that one of my users has been created. Let's head over to the Documents folder, and here we can see the new accounts file has also been created. And here we can see the various users that have been created. If I head over to my admin center, I'll click Users, Active Users, and here we can see a list of new users that have recently added. I'll leave these in place as we'll use them in a later video.